Yeah, yes, please. Yeah.
Hi, Israel. Today is my pleasure to have
Yes,
conversation with you.
morning. Hi.
And the first question is, what is a good musical
Yeah,
composition
same
for
here.
you?
Pleasure mine. Wow, what is a good music composition? Wow. Although this is subjective, personal, thank God you said for
Hmm?
me. Well, personally,
Especially for you, yes.
I mean, what makes good music composition? Can you can you hear me? Okay, for me,
Yes, 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 I can hear you.
aside from the fact that a good composition, okay, aside from the fact that a good composition should be okay in terms of employing those academic features like harmony, counterpoint, and all, well, a music composition for me, or a good music composition for me, is one that has a sense of direction. Yes, one that has a sense of direction, one that has something to express. Yeah, one that has a combination point, a destination. It is not enough to put down notes. Where is it leading? Yeah, where is that piece of music leading? And of course, a piece of good music or composition for me is one that takes the listeners to a journey, takes them on a journey. Because at the end of the day, if a piece of music is not striving to express something, then it's not music. This is just a set of sounds fooling each other or a set of some random notes on page of papers. So, but if the composer really puts together these notes to conjure up moods or an emotion, or I mean, then for me it is a good composition. A good composition is one that takes the listener on a complete journey. And that is what a good composition is for me.
And can you
Thank you.
just give one example of last from the last pieces which you have heard, not yours, but others, which have this
Okay, not mine.
quality?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I enjoy Bach. I enjoy Bach, and I enjoy Beethoven a lot. Yes, I enjoy Beethoven. Listening to some of their toccatas, some of their sonatas. I mean, you feel that. Of course, we all know the story of Beethoven and how he expresses his moods in them. And for vocal music, I enjoy listening to Handel. His Hallelujah chorus is one of them that I enjoy when you listen to the forever and ever, forever and ever. There is something, there's feeling in his works. Not the same thing with some random notes. I mean, on my DM, I get some young composers here in Nigeria who send me their work, ask me to evaluate for them, and it is difficult to communicate or to comprehend their thoughts. Yeah, so that is what it is for me.
Got it. And how would you describe your music, right?
Well, my music, it is not for me to describe my music. I mean, everyone, my music is good as far as I'm concerned. But well, from feedbacks I've gotten, I mean, from feedbacks I've gotten, I've gotten good feedbacks. I mean, at least my music is engaging. My music is engaging. My music is engaging, and yeah, my music is engaging. That's it for me. Yeah,
Do you
that
have
is for me.
some
And
musical?
I try as much as I can to make. Go on. Sorry about that.
Do you have some musical signature?
Not really. I mean, although here in Nigeria, I'm more like a classical composer. We are no longer in the Baroque era. We are no longer in the classical or resonance era. So I think I still maintain that Baroque period. Yeah, that's my signature for now. Yeah, when you're talking of um, Baroque music, one can easily make reference to me. Hence, the reason why the African composers referred you to me. Although I still do some other sacred works, okay, some muted, but yeah, my signature basically is Baroque. I do Baroque. Yes, I write oratorios.
And do you somehow use some local musical languages, combine them, or
I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
so you are in Nigeria, right? In Nigeria, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
So are you just using in your music? Are you combining it? Is this Baroque style of music with some local Nigerian music, or
Oh, okay. Mm, okay. Now, the African music is purely a tonal music. So, in as much as we try to employ compositional techniques such as counterpoint and the rest of them, remember earlier I said I don't actually have a signature. I write depending on the theme I'm writing on. If I am doing locals like Nigerian composition, for example, Nigeria is a multilingual society that has different dialects. So I have to write songs that reflect the people's tradition. I understand the people's locality, their drum beats. I express the people's culture in my compositions. I mean, I actually can be writing a Yoruba song, for example. Yoruba is a language, a dialect here in Nigeria. I can't be writing a Yoruba song, for example, and I'm employing an Igbo compositional technique. If I'm writing a few local songs, I follow the rules. Of course, one of the rules of writing local songs here is tonality, because a wrong note might give you a different meaning. So first and foremost, you must understand what you're writing, then know the basics. Okay, what are the guiding rules of? So I actually obey those ones. Then if I'm doing a pure classical work, an English work, for example, then I follow the rules. So I write depending on what I want. And that is what Adam Smith teaches in economics when he teaches what to produce, for whom to produce, how to produce. So if I'm doing Baroque, for example, I know the ground principles of Baroque. If I'm doing classicals, I know how classical works are being written. If I'm doing hymns, there are rules governing hymns, so I obey them. That is why I can actually say I have a signature. Handel wrote Messiah. He also did Judas Maccabeus. He did Saul. So they have different themes. So that is how I write as well. So I write depending on the theme or subject I have.
got
Yeah, that's it.
it? And what kind of themes or subjects you develop most frequently in your pieces?
Come again.
Uh, what topics or themes you are more keen to explore in your pieces?
Oh, yeah, yeah. In fact, I just 2 years ago, in 2020 stroke 2021, I started researching on the theme David. I mean, yeah, in the biblical character David. Yeah, that has really, in fact, I've really immersed myself in that study. Like David is one biblical character I've written a lot on, and I'm still writing more on him. I've been able to finish one storyline, the first part, then I'm just writing the second part of it. Of course, last week I started researching on the theme Abraham. So I'm doing an oratorio on Abraham, which I hope to finish latest by March next year.
Yes,
But
got it.
presently, David is my theme. David, I've written on David.
And why David? How you choose that theme?
David in the Bible, like from I did Handel did not write anything on David. Handel them wrote on Saul, um, Israel in Egypt, and the rest of them. So I was actually immersed. Like the story David is one of my favorite Bible story, and since no composer has written on that, I I delved into it. So I started from the rejection of Saul, how God told the prophet Samuel to tell um, King Saul that he's no longer need of the service since he refused to destroy the Amalekites. So I wrote from there to my part one of the oratorio ended where the David killed Goliath. So the second phase of the oratorio is from where the Israelites were praising God through David, where they chanted Saul slayed his thousands and David slayed his 10,000s. So I've been able to write from that point to the death of King Saul, where David has to cry in how art the might be falling. So I've gone that far. I've gone that far.
Good. And how you compose? How you start and what kind of stages you go through?
Okay, the stages of my composition. Okay, that is my process of composition. Well,
Yes.
yes, I really like to greatly immerse myself and research about the text, even before thinking of the pitch. Like I get my words, I research a lot. I make researches. I get different sources to research about what I'm writing on. So first, I research a great deal about the subject I'm writing on. Then I research about the materials needed, such as compositional techniques. I write down my ideas. Yes, I've always put down my ideas. Then I think of what the piece is supposed to achieve, the intention, the mood, to conjure up what I actually intend to communicate. Then I write. I always have my audience or my listener in mind. I have a picture in my head. Okay, what I want to write? Who are my listeners? Very recently, that was in 2021. When I premiered my oratorio, I wrote one of the songs I have there is "Sorrow in My Heart." Everybody in the concert hall had some sort of emotion as I actually made them cry. Every single person in the hall cried because I had that intention in mind. I actually created that mood. Then at some point, I created a comic relief for them. So when I'm writing, I have my composers in mind. I have my audience rather in mind. I have my audience in mind. I conceive every ideas. I put down all my ideas even before writing. So that's what I do. Then eventually, I actually put down my music. Then as they come, I put down my thoughts as they come. Then later on, I begin to modify them. That is what I do basically.
And how your music changed, right, in last, let's say, 10 years?
10 years, okay. And my music, well, I mean, I am not the person I was last in the last 10 years. Of course, the same thing applies to you. You've actually gone through a process. The things you know today, you don't know them. You probably didn't know them in the last 10 years. So, and that has also affected my musical sense. In the last 10 years, I did more of both motets. I did more of hymns, and today I write oratorios. I do operas. So that has really changed. And what has changed my music is simply the fact that I have grown in terms of how I perceive music. How I perceive music has really changed, and that's as a result of my human maturity. My musical sense has really grown. So that has also changed my my music. Yes.
Yes. And how how if you would be a female, would your music would be different?
I didn't get that.
If you would be a female, not man, right? If you would your music would be different.
Not at all. Not at all. Nothing will change. Nothing will change. Nothing will change. I have them lots here in Nigeria. There are a lot of female composers who are also doing well. Some of the musical characters I respect here in Nigeria are females, and they are doing very well. So nothing will change. Gender has nothing to do with how one conceives ideas, but nothing
And
will change.
And if you would live not in Nigeria, but let's say in Germany, in Berlin, would your music would be different?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that would be different. I have someone, a German friend of mine. He's a composer too, Rainer Bastek. Rainer Bastek, yeah, I respect him. He's a very good composer too. We actually, every human person does things based on what he knows and how it affects the environment. If I was in Germany, of course, a lot will change because I will want to compose according to my environment, acceptance. I need to consider my people what they like. I mean, a lot will change. I write here in Nigeria based on the Nigeria audience. Of course, okay, I have to consider the fact that there's music for every audience. There's music for every audience. So I know what I want to achieve. I have the audience in mind. I mean, if I'm writing for a church, a choir, for example, or of a small scale, I know what to write for them. If I'm writing for academic purpose, I know how to write for academic purpose. So that would also influence, like, of course, the regular African man or Nigerian man is a dancing man. So basically, in Nigeria, there are more of the dancing people. So I have that in mind. In the Western world, it's not always the same thing. So if I'm in the Western world, it makes a lot of things easier for me because the white man or the Western man conceives music in a different sense. The same way, on the same vein, if I was in Vienna, I know what the Vienna people want. I know how they perceive music. So that's I know. The environment affects a lot about our music. Environment
Yes.
affects our music. If I was not in Nigeria, my music, if I'm working and I'm planning to go for more studies in Rome, and that alone is going to affect how I write music because I need to understand their structure, how their lifestyle to compose. I can't actually write something that is not related. No, it is not done that way. Yeah.
And what kind of technology you're using or you're using when you're writing, right?
Mm, I use MuseScore, then Sibelius. Yes, I'm proficient with MuseScore, then Sibelius. Those are the technology I use for writing. Yes.
And Max SP or Ableton Live.
Hmm? Come
Do you
again?
do you use Max SP? Have you used that program for your work?
Yes, I do. Yes, I have. I do. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and what you fear as composers the most?
Mm. Every composer has a fear. I mean, it's worse for me. A composer, I think, not Bach, not Tchaikovsky. I can't remember the name of the composer. He says his fear as a composer is not being able to write as his heart dictates. Yeah, we have fears. Personally, here in Nigeria, what I fear the most is funding. Yeah, funding. I am limited to a lot of things. Yes, I sometimes I am discouraged when it comes to writing because classical music is very expensive. So whenever I'm writing, I have this fear of do I have the necessary funds to go into this project? Like yeah, funding is the most. I mean, since there are nobody, we don't have that organization or that body that's that that sponsors my kind of music. Yeah, I mean, like that. That is a very big fear for me. Most times I look, okay, is it a waste of time? And do people still listen to classical music, my kind of music? Do I have the necessary funding, especially when it comes to orchestra? Can I pay them? So that has just been the biggest fear I've had. That's just the fear I have. The fear is the funding for me. Being able to fund my music has always been the fear for me. Mm, yeah.
And why do you still compose?
Why? I still compose because my heart still beats. I mean, I still beat, I conceive ideas. I still compose because I'm not limited to my environment. I'm not limited to my environment. I don't know. Music takes us where words cannot go. So I compose because I'm still alive. I compose because I am able to write down my thoughts. I compose not because people of this generation or this era do not truly value music. I mean, I compose because long after my days are gone, I will be remembered for something. History will not forget me. So that's why I still compose. I compose because I still have audience. I compose because I still have those who get inspired by my works. So that's it. Because the only way or the major way I communicate my thoughts is through music. When I'm happy, I put them down. When I'm sad, you see them in my work. Of course, you are familiar with Beethoven. Beethoven's mood are seen his work in his works. You see, you know when he's angry, you know when he's depressed, you know when he's not happy. So whichever mood or whatever mood I find myself in, I translate them into writing. Yeah, that's how I do. That's what I say compose.
And now some questions about Nigeria, new music or contemporary art music or contemporary classical music scene. How it changed, right, in last 20 years?
Wow. Well, okay, in the last 20 years, from a personal point of view, a lot has changed. Here in Nigeria, from a personal point of view, anyways, a lot of persons, I mean, no, it used to be no pain, no gain. But today the reverse has become the case. It is now no pay, no gain. Nobody wants to indulge in something that is not bringing money. I mean, it is a waste of time. I mean, like, we have a different ways of measuring success. So what is not bringing money for you is actually a waste of time. So, but that has really affected classical music or art music in this part of the world. I mean, today content is being a lot of persons wants to do hip hop. People, even those classical music are now being diversified. You see, so that has really affected our way of music in this part of the world. And of course, with the scientific and technological advancement in our world, our love and taste for music has really changed. Like that has really changed a lot. Back in the Baroque eras, I mean, we had commissioned musicians, church and court musicians who, I mean, they were not several people were not left with so many several options. But today we have options. A lot has really changed. People have choices. Okay, people want to dance, and for the fact that our kind of music, we have our kind of music is for the elites, for academics, and for that reason, everybody just wants to make money. What is making money for them? So that has really affected our kind of music in this part of the world. Has really affected us. But regardless, I mean, we are still writing because I believe there are still those who enjoy our kind of music.
Yes, yes. And how audience change?
Yeah, okay. Audience. Personally, in my opinion, yeah, in my opinion, from experience, I don't want to believe that audience has really changed. I don't want to believe audience change because like I earlier mentioned, every musical genre have their audience. Every music genre have those who listen to them. The same way you and I are talking today, you were specific. I mean, I saw your invite. You were specific about interviewing me as an academic musician. So you could have interviewed any other person in Nigeria, but you chose me because of my kind of music. So for that reason, I actually believe that every music pattern, every musical structure or genre have those who listen to them. So audience for me hasn't really changed. Audience hasn't changed. I mean, last year when I premiered my work in October, I had the fear of saying, or people don't really attend our kind of music concert anymore. People want to go see Beyonce, Celine Dion, and the rest of them. That was the fear I had. But to my greatest surprise, a lot of I had over 2,000 persons in the concert hall. And the amazing thing is that it wasn't a free concert. It was a paid concert. And I had over 2,000 persons in that auditorium. So that alone has really inspired me and has convinced me that nothing has changed. Just that what actually makes people change is that people are tired of the regular pattern. People want to see something new. And once there's something new, people want to go and experience something new. So audience for me hasn't really changed. Yeah, okay. Hip hop, we have those who listen to hip hop. We have those who listen to blues. We have those who are pure audience of country music. In the same way, we have those who are the enthusiasts of classical music. So for me, audience hasn't changed. That's
Okay.
from a personal point of view and
Yeah.
my own
Did
conviction.
I
Yeah.
did I correctly understand it? Is this opera was attended by 2,000, right? Not 200, but 2,000 people.
No, 2,000, 2,000 per year, 2,000 person. If you want a clip, I'm going to send you a clip.
Yeah, it's
I'll
huge,
send you
right?
my YouTube link so you can have all of this. You can actually check on Facebook, Oratorio David, then with my name. Then yes, it was premiered last year. Yeah, I had over 2,000 persons in attendance. 2,000. So
It's
there is
amazing,
still
right?
hope for
It's
classical
huge,
music.
right?
Although the problem is funding, money. It wasn't easy because it wasn't easy getting funds. Thank God for the likes of the general overseer of one mountain of fire and the Catholic Archbishop of Lagos, because I'm a Catholic and I'm also a music lecturer in St.Albert the Great Catholic Major Seminary. So with that influence, I was able to penetrate a lot of um, um, music lovers who were sponsors of my work. So, but for smaller composers, it is not easy. It's not easy. So, my influence on how I've taught people, several people I've taught really helped and made that come true. And people are still, in fact, guys are asking when I'm doing the next one. And this answers the question of fear. We talked about fear. Getting money to do these things are not easy. Getting money to do it is not easy.
Yes.
If I have sponsors, if I have sponsors, I will be inspired to write more. Yeah, so that is it.
And what are the main trends, right? The main trends in contemporary classical music in Nigeria, where it goes and how you see it, how it
Mm,
could be in 2040, for example.
okay. Hmm. You know, the trend is same thing everywhere. I mean, in the 2021, from 19th century to the 20th century, a lot has changed, and that Nigeria is not left out. Nigeria is not left out. It boils down to what I had earlier said. A lot of persons feel like following up with the trend. I mean, there were a lot of good musicians I enjoyed back in the days here in Nigeria, the likes of Cobams, the likes of the Banj. But today, they actually feel that the audience, the market has changed, and they feel the need to actually move with trends. That has really affected our music. And yeah, today, for me, content is being people just want to dance and nobody wants to think anymore. In the years I enjoyed the likes of what is his name, Bob Marley, when he composed Emancipate Yourself from Mental Slavery. I mean, we had music that served as voice of caution. A lot of music served as voice of caution. The reverse is the case today. You can actually get or make sense or sentence from the kind of music we enjoy today. I mean, people just want to dance. People just want to dance, regardless of the content. I mean, we all see social media today. Everybody is shaking their bum bum. I mean, genital organs are just there. Yeah, and I have fears. I have fears. My fear is in the next 10 years to come. I mean, with the kind of film, with the kind of music we have today, I have fear. I have fears that classical music or not just classical music, even the pop music will stand. Although personally, I feel their music will not stand the test of time because we have academics and people who still appreciate good music. But the kind of things we have today,
Got it. And last question: what is the role of contemporary classical music in Nigerian society? What roles? What role it has?
ah, well, it is basically for educative role. I mean, you cannot downplay the fact that if you're talking about real music, you talk of classical music and contemporary music. It has really, I mean, if you're a classical musician, you have this edge in the society. You are respected. There is this respect that goes with. Of course, we are in the festive period, Christmas period, Christmas in the air, and those classical piano or pianists, organists are making it now. They are making it more than the other musicians because everybody wants to do classical work. The role of classical music here in Nigeria is the educative role. The educative role. You can't talk of you being a good musician without having a sound knowledge of classical music. And that has really, I mean, it's something that one should be proud of. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Israel, for this conversation.
Thank you very much.